The EFF leader Julius Malema is currently closing the party's second plenum in Boksburg. Yesterday, EFF officials were told to prioritize local government elections during their breakaway commissions. Let's take you there live now and listen in.
Members of provincial legislatures and all our staff members and the staff members of the Beachwood. We thank members of the media who are here and all fighters who are watching the proceedings from home. We salute the people of South Africa, Africa and the diaspora. Comrades, I want to send my sincere regards to those who came from the IEC to make a presentation here, the demarcation board, Stats SA. We really appreciate that they honored us and were able to bring us up to speed as to what are the issues that are confronting South Africa and the state of readiness, and what are the issues that will be confronted with when we deal with the issues of elections, and bring us up to speed in relation to demarcations of our wards as we confront these local government elections. I want to join the national chairperson in saluting all of you for being disciplined leaders of the EFF who are here and know the purpose of being here. That you didn't just come to an outing, but you came with a purpose of engaging robustly in what could shape the program and the political direction of the EFF going forward, particularly in preparation for the 2026 local government election. We salute the discipline displayed and the participation, because it's something else to be disciplined, but something else to also make a contribution, qualitative inputs that I've listened to, both in the commissions and during our closed session. I always enjoy listening to comrades from the lower structures of the EFF, because they bring to our attention some of the issues we think we know, but we generally do not know and appreciate how these issues reflect and affect you directly as members of the organization. So the problem is that we exist with limited time because we've got so many other responsibilities, and some of you have to travel a long distance to Chris Hani and all over South Africa to go and continue the work of building the organization. So we hope that those who got an opportunity to speak in the commissions and in the closed session were able to represent the views that we hold as leaders of the EFF, because seated here is not membership of the EFF. It's the cream de la cream of the EFF. It's the leadership of the EFF. It's what constitutes the core of the EFF. And therefore, when we interact with you, we must have an appreciation that you are leaders of the EFF, both in parliament, legislature, in the sub-regions, in the youth command, and west, some in the youth command are leaders of SRCs in the institutions of higher learning. So it's important that we appreciate the fact that we're not talking to ordinary members, we're talking to leaders who are going to carry the message to ordinary members and make them appreciate what has been agreed upon here. Comrades, you have agreed on voter registration campaign. And you said it must be something that is done on daily basis. It must be a norm, SG, that in every meeting of the EFF, as part of this mass voter registration campaign, those who are invited to come and participate in whatever meeting of the EFF must submit their IDs so that we check if these people are registered to vote. So the people who are going to get into buses of the EFF going anywhere, be it a rally, be it whatever, they don't pay a cent. From now onwards, they are going to start paying. They are going to pay with their ID number to get in any bus of the EFF. So that when we give a T-shirt, we know we're giving a T-shirt to a registered voter and the voter of the EFF. When we are gathered here, there must be a table outside there with facilities that are able to register people immediately if they are not registered. So when they get into buses, we don't punish them and say, no, because you are not registered, go away. We say to them, you are not registered to vote. Let's help you immediately to register you here and now as part of mass voter registration. We need to work with the IEC because it is equally the job of the IEC to make sure that they register as many South Africans as possible. So we said in Parliament, we want every child who becomes 18 to be automatically registered as a law in South Africa, because it's your civil duty as a citizen to vote and to vote for a party of your choice. So we cannot just be citizens and we don't play our role as citizens. And that role is to be a registered voter. So it's important that in as much as we demand service from government, we too as citizens must play our role. And that role is to register and vote for a party of your choice. As part of trying to make that a law, we are demanding that the IEC must support that law. The IEC must join in demanding that all South Africans who are above 18 must be automatically registered with the IEC as voters here in South Africa. And we need a voters' roll. They must print a voters' roll and give to each and every VD, not the ward. They are the ones who created the VDs. So they must print the voters' roll of each and every ward so that we can go to those people who are already on the voters' roll to confirm that indeed these people are here, they are citizens in this particular ward. They are voters in this VD. From there, we ask them to vote for the EFF. When they say, yes, we'll vote for the EFF, we register them as EFF voters. So mass voter registration does not only mean new voters, we mean voters of the EFF as well. So everybody, including myself, I must still be visited by the EFF that you are voting in this Mponagala Primary School. Are you a citizen here? Yes. We ask you to vote for the EFF and we engage. Once I agree, I must be uploaded in the EFF voter database, because EFF must have its own database that says these are the people who said yes, will vote for the EFF. And the new voters as well, the Youth Command must play a central role. We must not divorce ourselves from that responsibility of registering young people and say, no, it's a role of the youth command. It's not our role. It is the equal task to the structures of the EFF to register young people working with the youth command. So there is no youth command that should be asking for resources, because you must be together in this campaign of making sure that we drive a voter registration campaign amongst young people in our communities. We must know all the burial societies, they meet monthly without fail. We must have an interaction with those people. And we must be able to say to them, this is who we are. And we are asking that you spread a word in your families to vote for the EFF. Because after contributing money and checking who paid, who's not up to date in the burial society and Stockfells and all of those things, they've got nothing to talk about. So you can become a topic because they are already gathered. You go and ask for a platform to speak with them. In the suburbs, you can't be saying, no, you want VD meetings. You must call voters to a primary school or to a park or anything of that sort. The approach may not be the same. So in the suburbs, you have to identify an influential figure in this street and ask him to call a house meeting with the people on his street. They trust him, he's the neighbor. There are no high walls for them. They know how to interact with each other. And then once they gather in that house of a progressive force in that particular street, you go to that house to speak to those people and engage them. And there is no any other community that is not of target to the EFF. While you break new ground, you consolidate your base. You don't destroy your base to go and break new grounds. You consolidate the base and you go and build a new ground. So we must make sure that even white communities have to be spoken to, because they are being made to be scared of non-existing threat. Actually, what we are advocating for is the freedom of white people from high walls. It's the freedom of those in the suburbs from high walls. They can't even enjoy their gardens because they are hiding behind high walls. But if we usher economic freedom to everybody in South Africa, there will not be a need for high wall, because everybody is empowered, everybody is participating in the economy of South Africa. So we need to tell white people they've got nothing to fear. If anything, they've got everything to celebrate the existence of the EFF, because it will give them freedom to enjoy their neighborhood. They've got fear because they know that people are not empowered. People don't have land, people don't participate in the economy. Only the minority few participate in the economy of South Africa. So they should be joining the struggle that the resources of South Africa should be shared amongst South Africans. They should be joining the struggle that the money must not go to corruption, but must go to infrastructure development, so that the communities of Alexander, KwaMashu, Gugulethu, can be serviced better. And when they are serviced better, our security is assured. Because sometimes we put all the blame, yes, correctly so, on the people who are dominating the economy of South Africa. But in the immediate, there is a problem called corruption. As we are still fighting for the land, the people are fighting here the resources of the state, which could serve as an immediate intervention to help us solve the immediate issues that are confronting our people. So we have a duty to fight corruption and to declare corruption an enemy number one. So instead of DA declaring the EFF as enemy number one, they should be declaring corruption, poverty as enemy number one. Because that is what it is. That the enemy number one of this country is corruption that leads to poverty. So we could be speaking all these strategic objectives that we have outlined for ourselves, but there is an immediate challenge of poverty and unemployment as a result of corruption. So the DP is right. We need to fight this thing of permanent elections in South Africa. Elections are not every 2 years. In South Africa, elections are every Wednesday. Every Wednesday there is a by-election here in South Africa. And the by-election is expensive the same way, if not worse, than normal elections. Why should we have a by-election? Because this ANC councillor who died or who was killed by fellow ANC people or whatever the reason might be, this word was won by the ANC, and people said ANC must govern us here for 5 years. So when that one dies, let the ANC bring another corrupt one, because they chose that corruption. They chose that corruption. Why should we have a by-election? It's not true that people vote for the individuals. Those individuals leave the ANC and become independent and lose elections. After being voted a year ago, when they resigned from the ANC, when they resigned from the DA, when they resigned from the EFF and stand as independent, they lose. Because no one voted for them. They voted for the party. And you said in that word, the party must govern us for 5 years. You chose it. You never said the party must govern us for 2 years so that this one dies and then we can elect another one. You never voted to elect another one in the next 2 years. You voted to elect another one in the next 5 years. That's what you voted for. So you must be stuck with what you voted for so that in future you vote correctly. Why should we have by-elections? For what? Let's call for one election day every 5 years. We must go vote for national, province, and local government. And local government.
All right, that is the EFF leader there, Julius Malema. He's addressing the closing session of the EFF's plenum, and that is taking place out in Boksburg. He's been touching on a number of issues. You will have heard there in the last few minutes him talking to voter registration as being central to much of the campaigns that the EFF will wage, and basically talking about it should be the duty of every person, every child who turns 18 to be automatically registered on the voters' roll. And he says that we're trying to get that to be passed as a law, and they expect the IEC to be in support of that, because the IEC has a duty to get people registered, going on to declare corruption to be enemy number one, as well as now talking about the alignment between the national, provincial, and local government elections and by-elections, and says something has got to give because too many elections take place, too many cycles of elections happen, with the result that it takes a lot of resources and in a way feeds into some of the political corruption that we do see.